Thanks for inviting us in at 6 o'clock, and we continue our team coverage of Decision 2024. Polls right now are closing across most of Indiana. Our counties, though, in Central Time are open for another hour.
Remember, if you are in line here in Central Indiana when the polls close, you will be able to vote. Of course, that cutoff right now at 6 o'clock. We are going to be getting updates from Democrats and from Republicans from their headquarters that they've set up for this election night for you in just a moment. But first, we do want to talk about the weather. The rain held off for most of Election Day, but right now as we look live, what a beautiful shot of downtown Indianapolis right now. A little bit different look with daylight saving time darker now, and showers are moving into Central Indiana as well. And
this rain will have an impact on the rest of your night. Our Angela Buckman's over in the Weather Center with what we can expect in the coming hours. Hi, Angela.
Hi there. Hard to go after that spectacular view of downtown, but we do have rain on the way and the heaviest yet to come. Let's get to live Doppler 13 radar. Spotty showers developed this afternoon. Probably ran into a few of those if you were standing outside at your polling location. But I also want to point out some of the heavier rain that's beginning to build down to the south and west. All of this moving northeast and in our direction. It's going to have an impact this evening. Brazil, Terre Haute, Linton, Jasonville, Sullivan, Bloomfield, southwestern part of the state already dealing with some of that heavier rain. And heads up Ellettsville, Bloomington, Martinsville, Cloverdale, Greencastle. You will be next in 15-20 minutes. Some spotty showers. It's light from Greenfield to Newcastle to just south of Muncie. We have rain in between Peru and Marion as well, and a few showers in between Kokomo and Lafayette. The heavier rain you see southwest will impact us this evening. It's still going to be mild. Evening temperatures in the 60s.
All right, thanks so much, Angela. And now tonight to our Decision 2024 team coverage. We're working really hard with our crews everywhere, comprehensive coverage for every angle of this very important U.S. election.
Our Jenny Runovich is at Republican headquarters tonight. We've got Emily Longnecker with the Democrats. We'll hear from both of them in just a moment. But first tonight at 6, our Karen Campbell has been keeping a close eye on lines at polling sites.
And even though the polls are closed, some people are still waiting in line to cast their votes, especially to the northwest in Whitestown in Boone County, where Karen joins us live. Hi, Karen.
Yeah, so Karen, what have the lines been like where you've been today?
Hey, Scott, and you know, the lines have been, it's varied around Boone County, but you know, here at Whitestown at the municipal complex, the lines inside, they look super long, but the wait has been maybe an hour for most people later in the afternoon. Now, we just heard a knock at this door. Someone didn't make it in time to beat the clock, but you know what? 3 ladies walked in at the last minute. They beat the clock. Maria Sanchez, she's last in line. She came running through the door. She's holding that red last voter ticket. Some people said, you know, traffic was an issue getting here, but you know, they made it a point to make it here to cast their ballots. Now, around Boone County, we want to take you, you know, we went to libraries at places. We went to Zionsville. We went to Lebanon. All places are different. Some people, you know, waited in line for 20 to 30 minutes. No major issues, especially here in Whitestown. You know, I counted 10 voting machines here. And earlier, you know, this morning, we met a voter who said he drove by and he thought the wait was about 2 hours. So he decided to come back and vote later, which turned out to be very good. Take a listen to what a couple of voters had to say.
Well, this morning they were wrapped all the way around past the front of the building. So we decided to try it a little later.
I expected it to be longer. Honestly, I feel typically there's a bigger push on the actual day of election for the last remaining voters to get out. Hopefully they were doing early voting.
Yeah, many did. So that's Emma Trapani. She did make it to work on time. Again, wait here less or about an hour or so. So Scott and Ann, it will be, of course, a very long night. Just getting these voters through the voting machines. And, of course, a long night for these poll workers.
Absolutely. Karen Campbell reporting live for us tonight in Whitestown. Thank you so much. So frustrating for those voters who went to the door and knocked on and weren't able to get in. Now to the candidates. You know, they have a long night ahead. They're waiting for those results to come in, and it's going to affect their future.
That's for sure. Jenny Runovich joins us live tonight. She's at the Republican Watch Party at the JW Marriott in downtown. So, Jenny, what's the mood like there?
Well, Scott, things here are just getting started. The GOP watch party doors just opened here at the JW Marriott just a couple of minutes ago. So the mood is positive so far. Of course, one of the races that they will be focusing on closely, ones that we will be focused on closely as well, is that of Attorney General, the state's chief legal officer. Incumbent Todd Rokita is facing Democratic challenger Destiny Wells. Now, Rokita has been in this office since 2021. A Democrat has not held the office since 2001. Now, although this race hasn't had as much national attention or dollars spent in from the outside as the governor's race, it is one to watch, and here's why. Some say Rokita overstepped his authority while in office. For example, made those controversial comments about Dr. Caitlin Bernard, who made headlines after performing an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim. Rokita was reprimanded by the Indiana Supreme Court for that. So Democrats see an opening in this race potentially. Destiny Wells, a military veteran, also worked in the Attorney General's office a few years ago under Rokita's predecessor. She says everyone she served with there has now left the office. However, Rokita and Republicans are confident in a win tonight. So this is a race we will continue to watch here at GOP headquarters. My colleague Emily Longnecker will be watching the Destiny Wells camp at Democrat headquarters, and we will bring you results all night long. Back to you, Scott and Ann.
All right, Jenny, thanks so much. And Democrats, as Jenny mentioned, also awaiting results from today's election.
Following them tonight is our Emily Longnecker. They have set up headquarters at the Athenaeum, and she joins us with how they're feeling right now. Hi, Emily.
Hi guys, yeah, the doors just opened here. You can see a few folks behind me are trickling in. This is where the statewide Democratic candidates are expected tonight, including the Democratic candidate for Governor, Jennifer McCormick. She's running against Republican U.S. Senator Mike Braun. He's been a senator here in Indiana for the past 6 years. He stepped away from that to run for governor. She's also running against Libertarian Donald Rainwater, who ran for governor 4 years ago in 2020. Now, Indiana has not had a Democratic governor in 20 years. McCormick is hoping to change that. Experts say Braun is still the front runner in red state Indiana. He has the endorsement of former President Donald Trump, who won this state in 2016 and 2020. But the race has tightened in the past month, say experts, in part due to that large infusion of money that we've seen in both the McCormick and Braun campaign. We also saw the Braun campaign send out those mailers attacking Donald Rainwater, which could indicate that they are concerned that Rainwater will take some votes away from Braun. Remember, Rainwater did get 11% of the vote when he ran for governor in 2020. Braun has characterized this as a race about kitchen table issues, property taxes, inflation. McCormick has said that electing her would break the Republican supermajority here in Indiana. However it goes, we will be here with the Democrats bringing you their reaction tonight. Scott, Ann?
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting live for us downtown tonight with the Democratic headquarters set up for campaign night. Thanks so much. Well, now our coverage continues today of the Delphi Murders trial. This is day 16 of testimony.
The suspect, Richard Allen's attorneys, called one witness who took the stand despite an objection from prosecutors. Our Samantha Johnson has been in the courtroom all day.
And she joins us now live from Delphi. We have an office set up there, and she breaks down what was said in the courtroom today. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening to you, Scott and Anne Marie. That witness was a psychiatrist who specializes in solitary confinement and false confessions. And like you mentioned, the state was concerned that he maybe wasn't aware of the parameters of this case, what to say, maybe what not to say. We know this doctor isn't from the area, but the judge allowed it anyway. And so for about 45 minutes today, we heard from Dr. Stuart Gracian, who talked about what he called some of the symptoms of extended time in solitary confinement, two of them being confusion and delirium. Now, this doctor says he listened to phone calls, watched videos, and reviewed transcripts of Richard Allen's time in solitary confinement, and he concluded Allen was, quote, absolutely showing signs of delirium. And that, of course, supports the defense's argument that Allen's mental health had deteriorated when he confessed in prison to killing Abby Williams and Libby German. Then, later today, for about 2 hours, we heard from Dr. Eric Warren. He works as a forensic scientist with firearms and crime scene reconstruction. His testimony was all about that, quote, cycled unfired round collected at the crime scene that was found between the girls' bodies. He talked all about gun assembly and how different parts or pressure or speed can make different marks on cartridges. He was also critical of the way state police handled the original examination of that cartridge. You'll hear more from his testimony during tonight's Delphi debrief on the WTHR Plus streaming app. Now, lastly today, we also heard from a digital forensic examiner, and she says she discovered new information in the data pulled by Indiana State Police from Libby German's cell phone. And she says that data suggests someone actually plugged in headphones to that phone and then disconnected them nearly 5 hours later on the day the girls were reported missing. Scott and Anne-Marie, we have never heard that before. That's brand new information that we heard today inside the courtroom. There's a lot to recap and debrief in tonight's Delphi debrief, so we'll see you back here tonight coming up at 10 o'clock.
Very interesting testimony. Thanks so much, Samantha Johnson, live in Carroll County. Still to come, a motorcycle chase overnight ends with a crash.
We have what police are telling us tonight about the condition of that rider, plus long lines at the polls today.
You'll hear from voters who waited more than an hour today to cast their ballots in the election. All of that next.